Eric!
Yes!
It's time for the Captain's Log!
What?
The Captain's Log!
What?
Today, Eric and I, as we always do on the Geekvolution Omnibus, oh, it's getting late now, we are going to talk about some news items, and we begin with a truckload of trailers, Eric. We hitched them to the back, many trailers, we hitched them, and we don't do these in different categories, where it's like we do all the trailers first, and then we do some other stuff. We do them in the order in which the news items popped up, and we decided to put them in the list, and we just have a bunch of trailers that all came up at the same time. So the first one is the Freeform Cloak and Dagger trailer. That
looks like a Freeform Cloak and Dagger show.
It sure does. That's how I felt about it. Let's move right along. No, so it's exactly what I thought it was going to look like.
Yep.
When that was originally announced. I thought there was a chance that might just not end up going into production, and they might back out in the last minute, but that's actually getting made. And
I look at the trailers for things like this, and like I have this feeling of like I would have been excited about this if I was 14. But then I think, but I wouldn't if I was 14 now. It's like these things exist as if it's 2002 and there were no other superhero shows on except for Smallville.
Yeah. There's this
just coasting on existing
lack of self-awareness and lack of awareness of the grander culture. It's really weird. I don't think I've ever seen a trailer that is spelling out the themes of a show as hard as that one is. And like if that's all in the show, then it just holds your hand every step of the way, right? You know, you've got Cloak making a big deal out of, or you got Dagger making a big deal out of how she's like this you know, streetwise kid who's like she's this street kid who hasn't had things handed to her and is you know, real unsure of herself and stuff, and you have Cloak who's like the exact opposite, and it's supposed to be all cool and ironic because their powers are the opposite of their personality traits, and that's so obvious. It's like everything I imagine I might read, I might have a read on in the show was given to me in a minute-and-a-half trailer.
And they're also characters that I don't care about in the first place. And
oh, see, I like Cloak and Dagger.
I don't.
I don't. You could do okay, but
I'm not saying I don't like them. I just don't.
How far did you get in Miles Morales?
I never got to Cloak and Dagger.
Because Ultimate Cloak and Dagger are really cool. And
okay.
I mean, I liked them before anyway, but I think you could do some really cool stuff just based on them in that run.
My favorite Cloak and Dagger thing is they show up in Runaways at one point, and they tell the Runaways their backstory, which is that they got drugged.
Yep.
And the Runaways are immediately like, "That's awful. Don't ever tell anyone that. You're a terrible role model." That's my favorite Cloak and Dagger moment.
Usually, I say with a superhero thing that I'll try the pilot and I'll review it. I don't know if I'm even going to look at this show. Like, I don't know how much interest there's even going to be on the channel for that particular show. If a lot of people ask me to watch it, I'll take a look at it, but it looks awful.
And if you're going to ask us to watch it,
and
or ask him to watch it.
It looks like Inhumans level.
Don't do it because it's bad.
Well,
don't be like it's so bad you have to see it. Like, we know.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
saw the Inhumans.
If you want to have us do it on You Made Me Watch because it's really bad, I guess I can kind of see that. Sure. I mean, you're probably throwing your money away, but it's up to you. But yeah, I don't really want to watch that show.
Yeah, I have no interest.
That looks awful. And then, did you watch the Cobra Kai trailer?
Yes, I did.
What'd you think of that?
I don't like it.
Okay, so Cobra Kai is a YouTube Red thing. I still want to think that there's the potential that this would be the first YouTube Red thing that I would care about, but it's a, you know, million years later sequel to Karate Kid with the original Karate Kid.
And I think it's the original.
What's going on now?
I think it's the original. Whatever that guy's name is.
The bad kid.
Yeah. I think it's him. I think it's that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure it's the same actor.
And apparently, the Karate Kid owns a car dealership now.
Yep, which he sells with his karate.
Yeah,
it's kind of funny.
That's kind of funny. But yeah, so you weren't digging on that trailer.
No, it's that I don't know what I expected or what I wanted. but it's that thing of, like, everything has to be cynical and deconstructionist. So, like, Danny LaRusso grew up to be a not great guy who's kind of the thing that he hated when he was a kid. Like, he's a bully now, and he's kind of a sellout, and he's kind of lame.
Is the endearing one now.
Yeah, and like, well, he had a rough life, and so now he is... I don't know. All of that felt very, obvious, and like, yeah, okay, whatever. Like, we're gonna deconstruct Karate Kid now. We're gonna make Karate Kid a bad guy, and the bad guy a good guy. Like...
That's a good point.
That didn't appeal to me. But at the same time, I couldn't tell you a pitch for this show that would actually excite me, other than the two of them hanging out and training a kid.
Is this even a thing that you need or want? You know, it's like everything has to have a sequel.
I feel like this is the show that would be made by Barney Stinson, because we know that Barney Stinson views The Karate Kid as a tragedy where Danny LaRusso beats the main character.
That's really funny.
Like this is
so that guy would like the show.
Yeah. It's somewhere in How I Met Your Mother. I forget where. But yeah, like that's what this show feels like. It feels like somebody saw that joke and was like, "I'm gonna make that show." I
was totally indifferent, and I've recently gone back to the Karate Kid movies and really enjoyed them.
I mean, I love all of them. They're kind of like Rocky for me.
Yeah,
because three's bad, but like it's still.
And I didn't watch 3 when I. But
Did you watch the next Karate Kid?
I watched 1 and 2, and I haven't seen that since it came out.
I also, it's one of those things where I'm like, should you make more Karate Kid without Pat Morita?
Yeah, exactly. And then we watched the trailer for Shattered Grid. Yes, there's a trailer for the comic arc Shattered Grid for Power Rangers, and it is really cool.
Written and directed by Kyle Higgins.
Who's doing
Give the man a Power Ranger show,
please. tomorrow. You know, and have it air simultaneously with the show aimed more at kids. But like you know, give us a more sophisticated adult Power Ranger show.
And I should say, we both kind of like, before we watched this trailer, we were like, it's probably gonna be Jason David Frank kind of hamming it up. He's really good.
He's really good. Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have a whole lot to do.
He didn't take away the same thing I took away from this trailer, which was, yes, we should do a slightly more sophisticated Power Ranger show, like on Netflix or something. He wants a Lord Draken Netflix show, which is not... That's what I want.
No.
But it looks really cool.
I don't want a Power Ranger show centered around the bad guy. I don't need an anti-hero Power Ranger show.
It's gotten me really hyped for Shattered Grid. Shattered Grid is this thing, like, and I think this trailer is part of this, where like it feels like it's permeating. It's like it's doing what the movie didn't. Like, I feel like I'm hearing a lot of people that don't care about Power Rangers or haven't cared about Power Rangers in a long time being like, "Oh, I'm really excited for Shattered Grid."
Yeah, and they haven't even necessarily been looking at that comic series. They don't know anything about it. But I think Lord Draken has weirdly permeated even people that didn't read the comics, where they're starting to find out about this character. And I don't know.
This probably helps that a lot.
I don't know why that's such a big deal, because it's just Tommy being like actually being evil in the future. I mean, in the comics, it's really well handled. It's really cool, because early on, in the right from the beginning, the idea is we're right past Green with Evil, and Tommy's trying to get Rita out of his head. And the idea is, even after he's brainwashed, like that sticks with him, and there is an evil side to him. There is like it is possible for him to go that direction. He was brainwashed in the first place, but this is now not brainwashing, and a lot of it is that lack of confidence thing, where he doesn't know if he can keep himself from going down the path that she forced him down in the first place. And then Draken is the ultimate culmination of that. And I don't know why people who haven't read the comics are jumping on that, except just the superficial stuff of the suit looks cool, and it's another character for Jason David Frank to kind of backdoor get into, even though you wouldn't have thought he would ever have an avenue to play him. Like, he kept talking about it at conventions, like he's playing the character. Like, he doesn't come out and say that, but he's just like, you know, and yeah, now there's another Jason David Frank Power Rangers character. Like, no, there's not. Like, you're not playing the character. But now there is, and he's actually, and they made a suit, and the suit looks amazing.
And he's also playing him on the Hyperforce, which I've been listening to the Shattered Grid episode.
That's an RPG.
I might talk about that next time. If I
you got to explain that to people. They're not going to have any idea what you're talking about.
There is a live stream Power Rangers RPG where a couple different like YouTube personalities and previous actors of Power Rangers are role playing a Power Rangers game that is officially canon. These characters will be showing up in the Shattered Grid comic, and the last week's episode and this week's episode, or I guess probably the past 2 weeks' episode for when this drops, is a Shattered Grid tie-in, and they are Time Force Rangers. They're from the Time Force Academy. It's after Time Force, but it's picks up from the Time Force like timeline. They end up in the bad
and
future
that lets
with
them jump
Ray.
eras and everything.
Yeah. So I listened to the first episode and liked it. They're 3 hours, so I just kind of didn't get back to it. But they're doing Shattered Grid episodes, and J. David Frank is on them. So I've started listening to that, and I'll probably talk about that next week when we talk about Power Rangers.
Yeah, I hope so. That's really cool.
But you know, it's really exciting. I don't know why. I wanted to not be impressed, right?
Here.
It's 2 minutes. It's Jason David Frank. I shouldn't be excited.
Yeah.
I saw it and I was like, oh, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's so well handled, and I mean, like, minimalist. Obviously, they didn't have a lot of budget. They do so much.
Throwing super
with
cool.
So little. And like the way they integrate original Power Rangers footage in a more serious thing is really classy.
Yep.
It makes the best case Higgins has made so far, even out and it's outside of his comics, for making this more serious stuff completely canonical and integrated with what we've had already. It shouldn't work. It totally works.
Yep.
And like Tommy has one line of dialogue, he just nails it.
And if I have any complaint,
my big complaint is that they don't make it clear that it's for a comic series.
That's what I was going to say as well. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yep. It's a trailer for a comic, and I don't think people realize it's a trailer for a comic.
Like it's in the description, but if it's embedded anywhere and people just click on it, they're not going to know that it's for a comic series. And I bet some people will be disappointed and think that that's like a Netflix show or something.
Yep, I agree.
So can I do something crazy on camera? Let's just go the whole 9 yards. Let's just make the next omnibus Power Rangers themes.
Sure.
Why not?
Sure.
We're already doing comics.
Yeah.
You're gonna do that. You're gonna do the RPG thing.
I'll do the RPG
I don't know what
thing.
else we'll throw in. Let's just
find something to watch.
But I've got this big rewind coming out this week. Let's just follow it up.
Sure.
Why not?
Let's do it. Let's do it. Next time it was Power Rangers themes.
That sounds like so much fun. I'm very excited about that. All right. So then, next thing I'm not so excited about: Rise of the TMNT trailer. What did you think of that?
Barf. Boy, does it look awful.
Are you as intrigued as I am to see if it sells? Because I don't know. Like,
I want it to not sell.
Well, I do too. Partly because if Playmates merchandises it like they merchandised the last one, we're gonna have a lot of really crappy looking the Ninja Turtle stuff unless somehow they're able to make that look, less. Jagged and obnoxious and like poor man's Gendy Tartakovsky than that show does. But the second thing is, my kids and me obviously love Ninja Turtles, and they'll get Ninja Turtle stuff for Christmas or birthday or something, and I'll be stuck with that crap in my house, and that's not cool.
And we said when they released the like concept art, we were like, that doesn't look toyetic. That doesn't look like those will make appealing toys.
No, I don't know how you make toys out of that.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate.
All I can imagine is crappy McDonald's toys.
Yeah, it's like if Gendy Tartakovsky like had no talent.
Yeah.
It's really it looks on it's like the worst. It's like the worst possible way you could adapt Ninja Turtles, where it's like it's everything I'm always afraid the next Ninja Turtles thing is going to be.
And conceptually, I don't get why we went backwards as far as story sophistication goes. And just who we're aiming it at. 2012 was really smart in aiming at more of a kid audience, but telling some good stories and having a pretty rich mythology. There's a lot of adult Ninja Turtles fans that didn't think that was going to work, and then went in and actually looked at it and really ended up liking it, and it was just the perfect midpoint between 87 and 03.
Yeah, I agree.
You couldn't have done better with it.
No, I agree. From what I've seen of it, I agree.
And so, I want to think that they're smart enough to make a show that's better than what this looks like, but I don't have any hope for it at all.
I have no faith in this. And there's just weird counterintuitive choices where, a lot of the choices in this show just seem like it's, oh, well, we haven't done this before. We're just going to flip Raph and Leo, and maybe their arcs will be they flip back?
Yeah.
How is that interesting?
Yeah. And it feels, it also doesn't look like the point of it is to be interesting. It seems like, you know what I mean? I don't know And I guess we'll see if we actually look. I don't even want to watch this show.
This is the show that I would expect to get made if Ninja Turtles was not a huge phenomenon and just a thing people kind of remembered from the 80s.
You're right. It's what you might have imagined the second show to look like.
It's what that Stretch Armstrong show looks like. Like that. This is
well, and as far as the animation goes, it kind of looks like Flash animation to me.
It doesn't look good.
It's got
it looks flat.
It's got characters on backgrounds where they look like they're not even in the area
like
where
this.
Yeah. And I mean, like you know, you can say it's stylized, you can say it's on purpose. I resist saying this. It doesn't look like Ninja Turtles to me. You know what I mean? Like it looks like it could be anything, but they're just using those designs, and loosely that universe. But again, at the same time, like when we saw the initial concept art and stuff for 2012, I thought that looked abysmal and it was great. So
yeah, but now we have a trailer.
Yeah,
and the trailer looks like it goes with the art style.
It really does.
My fear is that my hope is...
Are you afraid it's going to be popular?
I'm afraid it's going to be popular because it's obnoxious.
Yeah.
And obnoxious sells.
And it also feels like it's bucking animation trends. I mean, at least with 2012, you could say they were trying some new stuff. I mean, we were doing quite a bit of 3D animation right then, but it was good 3D animation. I mean,
yeah, you're looking at Transformers Prime, Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it just looks like they're bandwagoning.
I think it's the first one that went as long as it did, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, like 5 years of CG animation. I don't know if anything else has gone that long.
No, because Green Lantern's 1, Prime is 3.
No, Green Lantern got 2, didn't it?
No, Green Lantern only gets 1.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. I
don't think anything else CG has
maybe
since Reboot.
Does Reboot go 5?
I thought it was 5 or 6.
I thought it was 4.
I mean, we could look it
up. Yeah, it's not really important.
Sure.
But yeah, no, looks awful. Yeah.
So, we found out this week that in the Captain Marvel movie, we're gonna get Clark Gregg returning as Coulson, which I'm kind of excited about because I just think it kind of sucks for him that he's been on this TV show that a lot of people aren't watching, and that he was kind of a phenomenon in his own right there for a minute, and like he started his own TV show for 5 years, and I feel like overall the Marvel Universe has kind of forgotten about him, which is really odd and ironic.
This would be so cool if S.H.I.E.L.D. didn't exist.
Yeah, it would be a lot cooler if they didn't exist, but it's easy to kind of ignore that show because it doesn't really feel like it's in that whole world at this point anyway. I'm not saying there's anything straight up that like super contradicts it, although I've not watched that show for at least a year now. But just ignoring that and just looking at the movies is kind of his own world, because frankly they sort of do. It's a nice bit of continuity that you kill off a character and then you do a prequel that deals with S.H.I.E.L.D. He should be there. So it's just really nice to do it. He should be there.
Yeah. The thing is, I had a friend call me when this was announced. So it was always like
it was a big deal.
Yeah, like it was a big deal, and I just don't care. Like it's cool that he's.
I'm sorry if you didn't want me to put it on the list.
No,
I'm sorry we're talking about it.
No.
You're like, why are we even talking about this?
I mean, a little bit where I'm like, okay, so he's gonna be like, I'm sorry, any goodwill I have towards that character has been completely squandered by S.H.I.E.L.D.
Well, yeah,
I can't be excited about it. It's nice that he's there. I'm glad that he gets to do this, but like, I can't be excited.
But I'm curious to see if...
I hope he has long hair.
I'm curious to see if being on that show for 5 years influences his performance at all.
Yeah. That will be interesting.
Next up, we need to talk about Dark Phoenix and New Mutants getting pushed back. We keep getting a bunch of new news about this. It's sounding like in both cases it might be for good reasons. New Mutants is interesting in particular because Fox said that it wasn't scary enough.
Yeah,
and they asked for half of it to be reshot, and they're forcing in a new character. And there's rumors
from what
about
I read,
there's rumors about taking out the. Is it like taking out the villain entirely and replacing it? I forget.
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on with that.
What I heard was that they'd done some reshoots and they added a character. Yeah. And now they're shooting a bunch to integrate him more into it. I saw something I have never seen before in the article about this, which is Fox is trying to make this more distinct.
Yeah.
Like Deadpool and Logan, they want it to have more of its own identity. I've never heard of a studio pushing for more creativity and like distinctness.
And if that actually
and
works, more power to them. That's really cool. At the same time, the director's not happy.
Yeah. He probably will not be back for a sequel.
And so it's possible that when they say more distinct, what they really mean is more like these other things, but I mean, like, I don't even know what that would mean. You know what I mean? Like,
maybe it feels like a superhero movie with horror elements, and they want it to feel like a horror movie with superhero elements, or something like that.
Yeah, which is the better way to go with it.
I would think so, but I don't know what that original. This is now another film that I'm going to forever wonder what was it originally like.
What did it look like in the first place?
I hope it's great. I love the idea of a horror superhero movie. I think the villain's supposed to be the Demon Bear, inspired by Demon Bear, which I've never read, but is like one of the big story arcs from that thing, or one of the big things people remember from that.
And this is now the second time that's been pushed back, right?
Yeah.
Dark Phoenix hadn't been pushed out back before. I think that is also.
No, I think Dark Phoenix was pushed back originally too.
Was it really? Wow.
Like a month ago, we got an announcement that I think both of those were getting pushed back, and Deadpool was being moved up, and now I think they're getting pushed back again. I think.
Yeah.
Because New Mutants is supposed to come out this year. Was supposed to come out this year.
Yeah.
And now will not.
That puts it all the way back to 2019 at this point.
No news on Gambit.
Yeah, still no news on that. That's hilarious.
They lost their director again.
So, oh no, I guess they're both next year now.
Yes, they're both next year now.
Yeah, that's wild. Well, so that's 2 more movies that we don't get to talk about this year. But there's so much stuff that's maybe ultimately for the best. I think that's also probably smarter for Dark Phoenix, just as far as getting butts in the seats, because it gets pushed back to February from November. That's going to be better for it. That's gonna be a better slot. Fox has been doing really well with February.
That's true.
That's when Deadpool dropped, and that's possibly going to be a month that weirdly, at least genre films start really looking at, because that's I mean like that's also Black Panther, which just creamed everything.
And Logan, right? Or was Logan March?
I think Logan was a little bit later.
Okay.
I forget, but it all runs together. But yeah, Black Panther was as far back as February, right?
Yeah.
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 Because at first it beat the February record, and now it's 5th highest grossing movie of all time, which is insane.
It was not dethroned as #1 at the box office until Pacific Rim Uprising came out, which isn't saying anything. It was 6 weeks.
Yeah, it's not saying anything at all.
Yeah.
No, because you sent me a message. You were like, "Yay, Pacific Rim Uprising finally to." I was like, "Well, something was going to."
Well, it wasn't
that movie doesn't
time.
even have to. Yeah, no, it wasn't. Anything else you want to say about? Oh, and the whole Miss Sinister rumor, which is just a rumor at this point.
I hope not.
Yeah,
that's a terrible way to take that character.
Well, and it's just weird because, like, yes, that is a character, but it's based on Mr. Sinister. Like, I don't know how you have that.
It's also Mr. Sinister in someone else's body. So, like, maybe it's going to be like seeding and building to Mr. Sinister.
Different. Yeah, I don't want it to be a gender swap thing, because I've wanted to see Mr. Sinister forever. Like, I don't.
Why would you do this when we know that Bryan Cranston wants that role?
Yeah, like, I don't mind doing that. You know, eventually with it, and I don't even necessarily mind certain gender swapping things with characters that aren't as big. Like, Mr. Sinister's a big deal. Like
he's kind of the only X-Men villain left I think
anybody's
heard of.
Replace him with another character.
I just don't think this film needs a villain.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so either.
It's Dark Phoenix. We're supposed to be doing it right this time. But whatever.
You wanted to talk about the IDW Transformers continuity ending?
IDW Transformers continuity is ending. It's very sad. I can't be too sad, though, because I'm like 5 years back on that continuity. I have up
You're part of the problem, sir.
I have up to Dark Cybertron.
Although we don't know if that's ending because of sales. Like, what exactly?
No, they don't say anything. And James Roberts, who's the writer of More Than Meets the Eye and now Lost Light, he's very positive. He says, I am getting to end this series the way I always intend to end it. He seems really positive, and and
maybe it was just time. I don't know. You don't think so?
My guess is one of two things. One is Revolution didn't work so well. Hasbro wants to try and do an integrated universe from the start. My second guess is possibly Transformers is just too far from center. There has not been a war for a long time. The war ended a long time ago. We have just been doing like science fiction stories with Transformers and political stories, and
it needs to be rebooted.
Maybe that's the feeling. And what's really cool is it is ending with a Unicron event. Unicron has never been in the IDW universe. For a long time, they were talking about like that they might just not do it. So it's kind of fun that we finally do Unicron. That is the ending. That's kind of cool.
That's a good idea to end it on.
But James Roberts was just like was in like whatever month like new Transformers, new continuity, all caps. I'm hoping he's working on it. I'd love to see what James Roberts would do with the Transformers, building them from the ground up.
Yeah, because I forgot to say that it's not just that it's ending; it's that they still have the license. They're going to make more stuff.
Yeah,
they're rebooting.
Yeah, they're rebooting.
And you said you're wondering how long it'll be before they do that with Ninja Turtles. I want to think if they don't cancel it eventually over bad sales or whatever, which I don't think will happen because they keep making more minis and they have a second ongoing. I don't think they're in any danger of the Ghostbusters thing happening, but I'd like to think 3-4 more years, but it kind of just depends on Waltz, I guess. And then the question is, because you and I debated about this, then the question is, would they continue that continuity without Waltz? I want to think enough other writers have come in and worked on it and done really good things that they might like Burnham or somebody take over, because Burnham did Secret History of the Foot Clan. It's one of the best things in that continuity, and he's come in and written a number of one and done stories. I really think that continuity would maybe continue.
But being able to write in that and having the vision can be two different things.
Oh, sure, it can. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not waiting for Ninja Turtles to be rebooted, but the idea that if Tom Waltz leaves, they close the curtain, they start over, is now not as far away as I think it could be.
That's really fair.
I think that series could end up being Tom Waltz. But yeah, it's
and then retroactively, if it sucks after he leaves, I would have wanted it to end and gotten to see how he would end it.
Yeah. But with Transformers, it sucks because I think Transformers is great. I mean, I've only read the James Roberts stuff. I haven't read the other Transformers book. It's some of the best science fiction comics being made right now, and it's really sad that it's ending. I mean, I'm also a couple of years back, so maybe it's not good anymore. I can't imagine, but maybe it's not good anymore.
Because you said the standard of quality is always good.
Oh, James Roberts is so good. I hope he gets to work on it. It's sad, but I don't know. I just never thought it would happen. I think the Transformers books outsell the Ninja Turtles books. I don't know. I think most likely this is some kind of Hasbro dictate, but I don't know. I have no information.
Unless he's just being a good sport and trying to be diplomatic or whatever.
He's British. He may be very polite.
I have a hard time imagining that he would make a big deal out of we're going to do this cool reboot in all caps if he wasn't involved.
Yeah, me too. That makes me hope that he's going to be involved. I think the Revolution thing didn't work out. Their G.I. Joe was horribly received and almost immediately
they're letting
canceled.
The Sonic guy reboot Sonic. Let's keep that in mind.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that James Roberts carries over. It's sad that this ends because it's been so good, but this whole continuity has had some rocky stuff. It's not a perfect continuity. I think you could restart and do something just as good or better. It's sad because
then you could bring more people in, maybe.
Yeah. Well, especially if you get back to center.
It'd be nice to finally have a good jumping up one again.
Yeah. That feels. It isn't just like it's good, but also like feels like Transformers. Like the last two jumping on points. If you haven't read Transformers a long time, or you only know Transformers cartoons, it's not gonna feel like Transformers. It's a series about transforming robots, but like it's not a war.
And there's all this history in between. The last time there was the Cybertron.
Yeah. So it's sad, but I'm excited to see what they announce. So
this is neither here nor there. This is a dumb thing to even make a news item, but I just wanted to mention to you because I don't know if you've seen it. Have you seen the commercials for new Mighty Mugs? They're bringing Mighty Mugs back.
I saw one on YouTube, and I was like, "Oh, I guess that's a good. They got the flippy faces.
It's not Mighty Mugs. Yeah, like they kind of look like them. But they have those weird flip face, and they're just Star Wars right now.
I think. And
I Star Wars Marvel. I didn't see those. I just saw Star Wars commercials.
They're the reason that the pops are bobbleheads, right? They must somehow still have the license, right? and then somehow held it all this time.
The vinyl thing with Marvel, I don't know. I don't know.
They're the other vinyl figure.
I don't know if that's true.
Okay, I'm just guessing.
I don't know why you'd only. I've never understood that whole thing with the vinyl thing, where Pop. If you don't know, Funko is not allowed for whatever reason. They don't have the license to make. I don't know why you would need a license for this. To make vinyl Pops out of anything Disney owns. It started with Marvel, and then it looks like anything Disney has. They're plastic bobbleheads. They can't make the vinyl figures. Why would that be exclusive? Why would there be an exclusive contract to one company for vinyl figures? I don't understand that.
I don't know.
But I just thought it was weird. I don't think those are going to sell. I don't think this is going to be a resurgence for them. And I would have waited until Pop was a lot less big. Like,
yeah, it's funny because
wait until there aren't $200 Pop figures on eBay before you try to bring Mighty Mugs back. Like, I'm sorry, there was a war. You lost. Okay, you are the Betamax of vinyl figures. Like you lost.
If people don't remember, Mighty Mugs came out before Pops, and they were much rounder and kind of more cutesy. It's hard to tell now. Like, I remember when I first saw them, like, it was a novelty. Like, oh, look how cutesy they are.
No, that's exactly what it was. Yeah.
And then Pop came out, and I thought Pop was Mighty Mugs until I saw a Mighty Mug again. And I was like, oh, that's not what those look like.
Pops are more sculpted. Mighty Mugs, all with the exception of certain ones like Galactus, where they have like a head piece that's connected to it. They're all repaints of the exact same figure.
Yes. Yes.
And they even put ones out that they even put blank ones out that you could make your own. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. But yeah, so if you don't know what that is, it was kind of Pop before Pop. Then Pop came out and blew them out of the water. Yeah. And now they've got turny faces like Manny faces.
I don't know what that company is. So either they've continued limping along with other product lines, or somebody bought the license to Mighty Mugs and has reinvented it. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I didn't look closer at what the actual company is, so I don't.
You should just start making cups.
So. No surprise to me. I predicted this. I was pretty sure this would happen with Fresh Start. Fantastic Four is coming back. And it's coming back under the pen of Dan Slott and drawn by Sarah Pichelli. And that is not a team I can get really super stoked about. Although, as you pointed out, Dan Slott, if he had anything to do with the Silver Surfer book that was glorious and I think one of the best science fiction comics in 5 years, his name was on it. But it was hard to tell how much of that was just the Allrids and how much he actually influenced that book. Anyway, if he had anything to do with that,
premise is him.
He certainly could be wonderful for this, even though I don't like his Spider-Man. But I guess we'll see. I'm going to give it a shot. I mean, I'm glad it's coming back. But again, I'm not surprised. With all of this limbo stuff with Fox, maybe, but probably getting bought out by Disney, they've really loosened the reins on all that stuff. And Humans didn't work out, so they're not worried about trying to turn them into the X-Men anymore. I think you'll start seeing a lot more X-Men merchandising again, finally, with Marvel. And, a lot of that was just them being angry that Fox has the licensing rights to this stuff, and they didn't want to make commercials for Fox. Fox isn't using that stuff anymore, at least with Fantastic Four right now. And they seem to be running more full tilt with peripheral X-Men characters more than the actual X-Men franchise right now. It's all about Deadpool at the moment. And so I just don't think... and Marvel's making too much money off of Deadpool to try to, rein that in. So... this does not surprise me at all.
I'm excited by Sarah Pichelli. For those that don't know, she is the co-creator of Miles Morales. And then she leaves that book, and the guy that Bendis has known about for a while, I haven't seen her since. I don't know what she's been doing. So it's kind of cool that she's back. If she went away.
She was drawing something, but I can't remember what.
Okay. I was unaware of her drawing anything since she left Miles Morales. So I think that's cool. And I think her artistic sensibility could work.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Because I like the guy that takes over Miles. I can't think of what his name is, but he also did he had Iron Man with Bendis for a little bit, and he did Civil War II and Defenders. He's the guy that does Defenders. That guy, I like his stuff. I liked Sarah Pichelli better, at least on Miles. So I'm excited to see what that book at least looks like.
Sure. I guess when I said the team, I just pretty much just meant Slott.
I hope Dan Slott doesn't go too wacky. But we'll see. I can say the exact same thing about Iron Man. I hope he doesn't go too wacky.
Yeah, I've had a couple people ask me if we think this will, get anybody that's not already excited about Fantastic Four excited about Fantastic Four. That doesn't tend to happen with comics.
I think it's
like
possible
run,
that someone who didn't care before very much and loved his Spider-Man could follow him over.
That's a good point.
I think that is because we are in the minority. It seems like, at least sales figures wise, we are in the minority. People love Dan Slott's Spider-Man.
No, I know.
And I think they could follow him over to Fantastic Four. I think this could be a really big relaunch in a way that the Fantastic Four has not been since Hickman.
Something else that we should probably consider is that if Dan Slott is on Fantastic Four, there's likely to be a period where Spider-Man joins that team again.
Yeah.
I didn't think of that until just now, but that's likely to happen.
He also will do something with Galactus. You can be sure of that.
Is he into Galactus?
Well, I just mean, like, he's a continuity guy.
Yeah,
like, He will not forget that Galactus is...
But nobody does with Fantastic Four. I mean, like, these days, when Fantastic Four is around, you see Galactus every, 9 or 10 issues. Like,
but the Life-Bringer Galactus?
All the time. Yeah, and I don't know if that'll stick.
That's what I'm saying. He will work with that. I think Dan Slott will work with that, and he will...
No, unless Marvel makes a mandate with Fresh Start that things have to look more like they used to.
I think, knowing Dan Slott and his continuity thing, I think he will at least tell a story that gets him back to it.
Oh, sure, yeah, okay.
I think I do not think you would just see Galactus. I think he will pick up where Galactus was last left.
Yeah, but, the Life-Bringer shown up a few times. It's not like this is now an obscure thing. No, they keep track of Galactus. He's too big of a deal. He might have already flipped back to purple. I don't even know right now, to be perfectly honest with you. I don't know what color Galactus is!
It's green. Adjust your TV.
You wanted to talk about the Uwe Boll thing, threatening to sue owners of Rampage. Can I just say, this is not interesting to me at all. I don't know why we're talking about this, but go ahead.
Because I think
he just seems like a crazy madman. I don't.
He is.
Yeah, I don't know why this is interesting.
So Uwe Boll, and we will be reviewing some of his films,
which I'm not looking forward to.
On May. Yes, you are. House of the Dead.
Yeah, but I didn't know he was, insane and obnoxious, and I looked at his Twitter feed, and I'm like, I don't want to watch movies by a guy that spells that poorly.
Well, he's also, I don't think English is his first language.
Oh, okay, well, then that's more fair.
He's like a crazy German guy.
Oh, okay.
So, if anyone doesn't know, Uwe Boll makes terrible movies, but somehow keeps getting the rights to video games. He made a Far Cry movie. He makes, back in the day, when House of the Dead came out, no one expected that to be what it was. I think people expected maybe around Resident Evil, maybe a little bit lower. It wouldn't be a great movie. No one expected it to be what it is.
Yeah, and how hard is that? House of the Dead, it's right there. It just doesn't seem like it would be that hard to make a horror movie out of that material.
You have no idea how untalented Uwe Boll is. You will find out, but he's the worst.
Yeah.
This is a man that believes the only reason his films aren't successful...
I hope that gets remade at some point, because I love House of the Dead. I feel like it's really adaptable.
This is a man who believes the only reason his films aren't successful are because the American film studios are keeping him down and don't want him to be successful, and they know that his films would do amazingly, so that theaters won't play the movies anymore. He also challenged people... He has challenged critics of him. He made an open invitation. If you've written a bad review of my movie, I will box you to prove that my movie's not bad. This is the kind of... And he really did it. This was not
He sounds like if Tommy Wiseau was more combative.
Yes, that's exactly what he is. So Rampage comes out, and he seemed to have just found out this movie...
How did it take him this long to figure... it seems like he went to a movie theater and just saw the poster.
Yeah.
Well, because he took a picture of himself flipping off the big cardboard standee. So it's like he just went to a movie theater and got all angry because somebody made a movie called a movie that he made that he's with the same title that it's getting late with the same title that he's made, but his had nothing to do with that property. Does he even know it was a video game?
I don't believe he does. He has started a hashtag fake Rampage. Now, to be fair, his movie Rampage is the best thing he's ever done. I actually think is an okay watch. He has made 2 sequels. I have not watched those. I didn't care enough to keep going. First Rampage, not that bad. It's not that bad a movie. It's all right.
But it has nothing to do with the video game.
It has nothing to do with the video game. He doesn't seem to know. He legitimately believes that they have chosen that name to coast off of the success of his film franchise and make it harder for... I think this is hilarious. He's threatening to sue them.
Did you know that just this year there was an independent film that came out called Primal Rage? Now, if at some point someone makes a video game adaptation movie of Primal Rage, is that guy gonna be like, you stole my name?
No, because it's not Uwe Boll.
No, I know it's not. I'm just saying, is that like, this is absurd, right?
Yes, it's absolutely absurd.
Happen.
And he legitimately thinks...
this is more fun to talk about than I thought it would be.
He legitimately thinks that this is a dig at him, and that this is them trying to co-opt his... He legitimately believes that people will go to this movie thinking it has something to do with his highly successful Rampage franchise of films. It's hilarious.
It's a big budget reboot of Uwe Boll's Rampage.
His Rampage, by the way, is about a teenager who basically goes on a spree shooting throughout his town.
Also, it doesn't even have anything to do with like giant monsters and animals or anything.
No, it's. I want to say it's a school shooting film, but it's not. It's he goes through his town, and apparently the second film, I didn't watch it. The second film, he goes to Washington.
Wow. We should have called it that. Rampage goes to Washington.
Yep. Yeah. I just think this is hilarious. I am as fascinated by Uwe Boll as I am by Tommy Wiseau.
And you know, I had the same reaction when you first brought up Tommy Wiseau. I'm like, this guy's not that interesting. Why are we talking about this guy? And then I wrote a 15-minute video comparing him to my favorite superhero. Maybe this will happen with this guy. I don't know.
And Uwe Boll keeps making movies.
Yeah.
Tommy Wiseau doesn't keep making movies. He has continued. He puts out like 3 or 4 movies a year. Like he makes movies.
But the difference is like if Tommy Wiseau had kept making movies, I don't know if they would have all been successful. I don't know why that guy's movies sell.
He's, and I don't know if they still do, but at least in the 2000s, he had a reputation of just like a lot of people said that he was like the modern day. It's really late. I can't think of his name, but the Planet 9 from Outer Space, Ed Wood.
Oh,
a lot of people say he was the modern day Ed Wood. Like everything he makes is bad and like unbelievably bad. Like you have to see it to believe it bad, kind of a thing. And like he gets real actors. Jason Statham was in one of his films.
What?
Christina Loken, who's the Terminatrix from Terminator 3.
Yeah, she's
Blood Rain.
Oh yeah, now that you say that, I remember seeing a poster for that. Yeah, that is her face.
Also Meatloaf is in that. Is in Blood Rain. I hope you're really excited to watch Blood Rain because I own it.
I don't like
but no, it's I don't. I think
I mean, I don't have anything against Meatloaf. I don't like Meatloaf's music that much.
Really? Oh, I like Meatloaf quite a bit. But I think it's also interesting. I think Uwe Boll has gotten the thing that Tommy Wiseau is kind of starting to get now, where I think people intentionally work with him because they do know his work. But yeah, no.
Yeah.
I just thought this was hilarious.
So we didn't talk about the most recent Infinity War trailer last time because Eric hadn't seen it, but we went to the theater recently and Eric ended up having to see it. Do you have anything to say about that trailer?
I'm really worried about the balance thing. When Thanos says, I just need everything to be balanced. That's not Thanos.
Yeah.
Thanos doesn't care about balance. It's not a character trait at all.
Yeah.
It's like they saw that he murdered half the universe.
But I mean, he's potentially a real different character. Yeah, I'm worried about that too.
It's like that they saw that he murdered half the universe, and I was like, "Oh, that's going to be his whole thing." Is he wants to murder half the universe? That's not what's interesting about that character.
No.
So I am a little worried about that, and especially knowing that people have said that they've talked about his backstory and it's not the same.
No, he's almost anti-balance, right? Like he wants the end of all things, and the reason Death doesn't want anything to do with him is because she needs the cycle to continue. Mm-hmm. She's almost more about balance than Thanos is. She needs people to be alive so that they can die. It's a circle of life thing.
Yeah.
She's the other side of it.
So
yeah. Where is that?
I'm a little concerned about that.
Yeah. But I mean, we'll see.
Yeah. I'm not passing judgment. I'm just knowing that people are having reaction. I'm like, is that the thing? Is he about balance?
And it's possible that. Hear me out. That it could be that, and he's real different, but they have a very interesting take on it, and we end up liking that idea.
Or he's kind of more savvy than comic book Thanos, and that he wants balance for Death.
Yeah, sure.
That he's picked up on. That's why she doesn't like him.
Although I don't think she's going to be in that movie.
No, but he can still talk about her. She doesn't have to be there for him to talk about her.
I don't think she's going to be a thing.
Oh, that's
at all.
That's sad, given that his first line is about her.
No, I know that. I thought that too. I don't know if they knew that when they wrote that. I mean, like
Whedon did.
Well, okay, yeah, good point. But I'm not sure that anybody else around was like thinking about. I don't know. But like
That's real intentional.
Look, that was in an after credit scene. We do that kind of thing all the time. We set up things that we don't pay off, or we have to.
Don't tell me that
later.
you understand a character and then completely change the movie. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not even the same.
I also really like Tony Stark reacting to Chris Pratt acting like an idiot.
I'm not saying this based on anything else except I don't know if they wouldn't think that in this universe it would be too far to have a personification of death, given that we've been real uncertain about how far we want to go with the magic thing, and that we haven't literalized that kind of stuff as much in Thor. Like, we didn't have a real underworld.
No.
It makes me wonder if they'll go as far as having like an actual.
But she doesn't have to be there. He just has to be upset. He has to believe that she exists. I don't need her to literally be there. I would like that, but as long as that's still what he's about,
yeah,
I'm fine with that. And I like Tony Stark being like, "What?" when Chris Pratt goes off on his like stupid Guardians. I love that.
Well, that's why when you were saying last time we were talking about this stuff before you had seen that trailer, that you were concerned about the I guess the other balance thing.
Yeah.
That you know that movie wouldn't balance the comedy and stuff, and that suddenly because Guardians is there, it would turn into a Guardians thing. I was like, you wouldn't be saying that if you saw that trailer.
Yeah. I've gotten maybe this is me getting older, but I've gotten to a point now where like I'm not like out of my mind as excited as I was, but I'm also getting to a point where like I can watch the trailer and be like, I don't even need that second trailer. Like, if it looks good or looks in the ballpark of what I want it to look like, I can just wait till the movie comes out.
Well,
like
yeah,
I've gotten away from the, but like I used to want to. Like I used to like I couldn't wait to watch trailers.
Well, see, I never had that. Really.
But now I'm kind of like I'll see them if they're at the movie theater. But like I really only care about the first trailer at this point.
Oh no, and that's completely understandable. And I'm not saying that you necessarily should have done that. I'm not going to try to get you to spoil things for yourself that you don't want spoiled. I'm just saying that we had like a 5-minute conversation, like kind of friendly argument about that, and I was like, yeah, but like I saw a thing that tells me that that's not going to be a problem, and I trusted it anyway. But not, as I always say, trailers don't tell you everything, and it's possible that you end up being right, and that's more of a I don't see it. Sure. I don't think it will be.
I'm still excited. I still think it looks good. I'm a little worried about Thanos, but we'll see. And I wouldn't have been if all the internet didn't tell me that they messed with his backstory.
And you know what?
And they made him way less interesting.
Yeah, and also, if he was a little bit less interesting and complex than he is in the comics, it's not like Thanos is the most complex villain ever created or anything.
No, but doesn't that make it worse? Where it's like it's easy to do this.
Yeah, but even if he.
But if they make him more interesting, differently.
Hear me out. Even if he wasn't that, but we'd gotten him in the first Avengers movie or something, I'm not saying they should have done that, it wouldn't have been as weird as getting a glimpse of him and then waiting 5 years.
Mm-hmm. I will say
that's why he's weird. There's been too much build up for this. We've got a non-comic reading public that knows what Thanos is now because a bunch of fanboys have explained it to them after they were like, "Who is that purple guy?" And
is that Hellboy?
In the Avengers after credit scene, there's a lot writing on Thanos. Like, he needs to be the best villain they've had, especially because they've started turning around a little bit, but they have that reputation for not having great villains. He
needs to be worth the wait.
He needs to be amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. He can't be okay. He has to be great.
I mean, for us, he can be okay, but for the general public, I mean, he needs to be really interesting.
Yeah, he can't be.
Or maybe we'll compare it too much to what he is in Infinity Gauntlet, and they wouldn't even, and some of those folks wouldn't even notice.
He can't be Isosceles in Doctor Strange.
Yeah. No. Precisely.
Who is okay. He's not a bad villain. He's kind of interesting. He cannot be that. He cannot be kind of interesting. He has to captivate the public.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be really weird if we had as fascinating a villain as we did in Black Panther, and then they do Thanos, and he's just not anything like as interesting?
Yeah.
I mean, those would be weird characters to compare.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about is the Death of Superman trailer. We're getting the animated first part of 2 movies, starting with Death of Superman, then they're doing Reign of the Supermen. And I have been lukewarm on this whole project ever since I found out that it's part of the New 52 based continuity. And this isn't even a trailer so much as a behind the scenes, one of those 6.5
Yeah, I hate that they call them trailers. They keep
make.
doing this.
Yeah, well, that's not fair. It's reposted on another YouTube channel that is calling it a trailer.
Oh, so it's not Warner Brothers?
The original official one, when it's posted, doesn't say that.
Okay.
It says behind the scenes or whatever.
Okay.
But it's the producers and actors talking about that movie and saying all your standard kind of talking points.
It's going to be really fun because we can do some new things and take it in different directions, but also we're going to be 100% faithful to the comics.
Yeah.
That's basically what they say.
Yep.
It's really fun that we can play with it, but also we're going to be super faithful.
Yeah, it's fresh start, That's what it is. I'm not excited about this at all. I want it to be great. I hope that I like it more than I think I'm going to. I'm done with this aesthetic. I don't like the New 52 continuity anyway, and so like I knew that's what it was going to look like, so I'm not surprised or anything, but I forgot how much I don't care for that Superman voice, and I'm gonna have to hope that they can make him come alive as Superman for me, because he's been nothing the few times that we've had him. What I like about it, I guess, is that they're I'm trying to think of anything. No, I'm kidding. What I like about it, I guess, is that they're bringing in the Justice League again and doing what I guess makes sense in this continuity, where we do have a Doomsday that is so powerful the actual A-list Justice League can't take him down. I guess I like that. I'm a little bit of a Death of Superman purist. I would love to see that actually adapted straight. That is clearly never going to happen now. Well, and especially after this is now the second time they've done that, and they pseudo adapted Death of Superman to BVS. We're never going to get this again. Like that's it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I can't get excited about it. And we still now it is nice that Doomsday is in the green thing.
Yeah.
When he first shows up.
It kind of sucks that his design isn't great.
Why can't I have my bones over the eyes? Why can't I have one time?
Yep. So
that is nitpicky. I know. I don't care. I want the bones over the eyes.
Not nearly as invested in Death of Superman. I'm really worried this is going to be boring as sin.
Yeah.
So they're basically, from everything I've seen and what they said, one of two things will happen. Either it's a movie that's almost entirely a fight, which could be fun if they can do it well.
Yeah.
Or I am going to have to sit through, what are these, 90 minutes, 80 minutes? I'm going to sit through like 2/3 of this movie. It's going to be Superman moping around trying to figure out why he does what he does.
Yeah. That's what it looked like.
And then Doomsday shows up, and then he dies. You're not good at this. I've seen your other movies. You're not good at character things. You can do some nice animation. Make it a 75-minute fight scene. Like, I have no faith in them.
Well, and again, I don't mean to be too much of a purist about it, but part of what I love about Death of Superman is that Superman is completely confident and happy with his place in the world before he gets killed. It's not about Superman.
Yeah, it's not like he's lost his way or anything like that.
You don't make this a character piece for Superman. The point is how he inspires everyone else and what the world is without him. Honestly, the very notion of doing 2 movies and having the first movie being mostly a Doomsday fight is on paper a bad idea. I hope they can pull it off. On paper, it's a bad idea. Death of Superman is a 3-act story. It's Death of Superman. It's World Without Superman, and then it's Reign of the Supermen / Return of Superman.
No, it would make, if you're doing it 2, it makes more sense to open with the Doomsday fight and then have World Without Superman as the rest of the movie.
Yeah,
right?
I'm worried we're not going to get enough of that part. And I also don't really know what Reign of the Superman looks like if it's also kind of a Justice League movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe it should have had a Justice League banner if they're going to be as involved as it looks like they are.
And I also don't like this, and some of this is just like the continuity stuff.
Maybe they won't be as present in the second movie, and maybe they're not as present as it looks like they're going to be. But man, when they first announced they were doing 2 movies, I assumed they were adapting it more straight because I figured it was gonna be the point of it was to really do it right and have the reverence for it that they had for Dark Knight Returns. And this is just so counterintuitive to me.
Well, and so part of this is because of this continuity.
Yeah.
We've never had a Lois here. So the idea that the crux of the character arc for Superman is going to be telling Lois he's Superman?
Yeah.
Death of Superman's tragic for Lois because they've been together. They're together when that happens.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What is that? What's good? Because someone in that behind the scenes thing mentions that they're married.
Did they?
I thought I heard something about like saying something about Superman and his wife. Maybe I have to go back and look at it.
They specifically say that he's trying to come out to her.
That's what it looked like. And what's weird is that was one of the beefs I had with Superman Doomsday. Was that she doesn't know he's Superman, and that's really awkward, or no, the whole thing in that is she knows, but he won't tell her. Do you remember that?
Yeah, it's because we're taking like this iconic Superman story, but we're also trying to do, like we're always trying to do the thing. It's because it's not for fans. No one cares about that dynamic, like the Lois Lane finding out. We've all seen that 100 times.
Yeah,
it's not for us. And that's unfortunate.
But especially if you're gonna take that material and adapt it again, the only people that's for is us.
Yep. Yep.
And what is even the point of doing 2 movies then? Like, yeah. So I don't know. I can't get excited about that. I hope it's great.
Yeah, me too.
We will review it when it comes out, as we always do these things.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm rooting for it. But man, it's counterintuitive. It's not what I would have done with it.